skincare, I figured I would go ahead and drop some knowledge that some people just cannot handle, okay, being able to swallow, okay. But today I'm gonna need you to, okay, grab the butter, okay, grab your extra water for the thirst you have, okay, for your own lives, and the people that help you uphold them, so that you can understand, okay, Ricardo, Ignacio, okay, that the only Hispanics that matter in America, specifically, and around the world, are the black Hispanics. Okay? I'm talking black passing. I ain't talking about your biracials and the weirdos and the mino blackie. Okay? I'm talking about your la negras. Okay? Your negras. That's what we're talking about. So, we are going to talk about today why certain people need to just, okay? Because you really ain't talking about shit. And you never have been, never will be. Okay, so today we are going to, and I just want to make sure you understand who you're talking to, because respect is always due where it's due, and some people just can't seem to fathom that a lot of people in the Hispanic community are only scared, okay, to claim their blackness because the mestizos who think they run the Hispanic community, mostly Mexican, okay, are always running their mouth and trying to pinpoint and direct everybody else in the Hispanic community, okay, when you have no power. No power, no reign, no knowledge, no anything other than your need, okay, to astringently be taken over, okay, by the assimilation culture of whiteness and European ancestry, while shitting on everything that makes you partially somewhat exotic in the first place. Okay, and it's really not as exotical as people would like to think, okay, which is why it's considered a normalcy to be Mexican and different things in the Hispanic community. So we're going to talk about it because certain people need to learn how to be quiet in conversations they don't need to be having, okay? The fact that so many people want to have these conversations is quite funny to me, but we're going to talk about it. And we're going to do a deep dive for the weirdos who keep coming on here reiterating and regurgitating bullshit. Okay? And then you'll understand why so many Hispanics are hated, pretty much regardless anyway, and why so many of them never really live out their dream of being able to mejorar la raza americana. Okay? You can't. Okay? Soy americana y boricua. Yo entiendo. But I don't want to assimilate. That's not my point of assimilation. Okay, so in America, Estados Unidos, okay, a lot of people have forgotten, okay, where their roots really lie, being white Hispanics or mestizos, okay, and mestizos come from a long line of mixing with whiteness, not Tainos, okay? So we're gonna clear something up because I hate a liar. And Ricardo, you are a fucking liar. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and help you out today since you think you are not surrounded, okay, by black Hispanics. We are. Okay? And just like these fake ass mestizos don't want to acknowledge black Hispanics, if you look at your applications for whatever you apply to, they also don't give you the option to claim black and Hispanic. That's how bad they don't want to see black Hispanics, knowing that we are a great percentage, even in America. Okay, so I said what I said, being that I am a black Hispanic and black American, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Ricardo, okay, let's have the conversation, little Chicano, okay? Because that's all you are. You're a Chicano, okay? And it's okay. Be a Chicano. But stop trying to pretend you're indigenous and a Chicano. Chicanos will never be indigenous. Oops. Okay? So, we're going to talk about how a lot of people have just confused themselves about what they are. And that's okay. We're going to help you out. Because a lot of people are still trying to fall for this. And look, me indigenous. No, you are barbaric. You are low class. You are a pretender. You are more European, white ancestry, more, okay, Neanderthal ancestry than anything. And if you didn't know that, you're welcome. Okay? Because white people know that too. Okay, that's why they buck you and humble you every chance they get. And you're still fighting to be seen as what? Little mestizo. Okay, most of you come here and claim what on paperwork because it show ain't Taino. Okay, if you are so proud of your Taino culture and heritage and lineage, you would not rearrange the word Latino to begin with to take the Taino out of it. Okay, but you take Taino out the same way you take blackness out of the Hispanic Caribbean culture. And it's because you hate blackness. It's not that the black people hate themselves, you hate them. So stop saying this whole black people, the Dominicans and all these people hate them. No, they hate how you treat them. So they try to create, okay, the same thing like they do in America, and I happen to be both black Hispanic and black American, okay? They do the same thing here. Black people that hate how they're treated as black people, they're always, yeah, bro, yeah. It don't matter where you grow up. I grew up around predominantly white people. I'm talking about uppity white people. Okay, I'm talking about driving Porsches to school as a high schooler, and you're complaining because that's not the car you wanted. Privilege, okay? So I don't care how many white people I've been around. I've never had to assimilate to white culture at home. So this is for the people who don't understand. The only reason why you feel important is because you assimilated to white culture at home, and you want everybody on the outside to see that and understand that, so that they don't consider you me no blackie too. Okay, but in retrospect, white people know you're not whitey. Okay, so you can stop trying to steal the TikTok and internet slang that you're hearing from other black people talking, because you want to be whitey. I don't care who you date. In the mestizo Chicano culture, the norm is getting with whoever you want to take the identities of or tether to. And because a lot of mestizos and Chicanos are realizing that white people have always known our lineage to the Americas, okay, over yours, they're now wanting to pretend they want black and brown unity while screaming for decades, centuries, okay, that they don't. Okay, let that Negro fight his own battles is what you were screaming not too long ago. Okay, but it's because you hate the Negroes where you're from, and those Negroes hate themselves as internalized hatred because of your hatred for blackness and your fake appreciation for the culture you come from. Because if you pay attention, what you guys try to consider to be Native American is nothing more than you dissing the fact that you all come from blackness and more of an African, black American, Taino, okay, background. And Tainos are the only black people that matter when it comes to speaking about indigenous. And you are not even 15% indigenous the way the internet lies to you and tells you. So let's talk about it. Okay? Because, matter of fact, I'm going to go over here and help you out first. Let me go to your lies first. Let's see if we can pull up your lies a little easier. Okay. Hey, let's talk about it, okay? Black Hispanics, also known as Afro-Latinos, are people of African descent from Latin America and the Caribbean who also have a strong Hispanic, okay, cultural identity. Let's say this again. Black Hispanics, also known as Afro-Latinos, are people of African descent. Okay, because y'all know Africa was always here before y'all. We don't care which part y'all try to push us out of and claim. Most of the parts of Africa that have people who are non-black have always been places you wanted to claim for historical relevance. Period. Okay, so let's continue. Of African descent from Latin America and the Caribbean. Okay, when you think of the Caribbean, do you think of white people or do you think of Chatas? Okay, this is why I laugh at the way Hispanics try to distance themselves from their neighbors in Haiti, especially the Dominican Republic, because in the Dominican Republic, the hatred that Dominicans, which is an after created after the Haitians, have really convinced themselves, okay, that they don't come from blackness, and they do. The same way people in America keep trying to convince the world that whiteness was here first, knowing every which way you turn, the world keeps saying, that's a lie. Okay? And it's the same thing for, okay, these mestizos who keep coming here lying, pretending that they are here before their originals, which are the black Tainos. They keep pretending only had straight hair, only had, okay, you don't even have only these things. And it's not because of your African ancestry, it's because of your Taino mixed ancestry, which are your black Hispanics. Okay? Now, let me help you understand something. Okay? As a black American and a black Puerto Rican, I will always have more weight in the indigenous conversation, because if you did not know, Puerto Ricans, okay, are actually the most indigenous in the Hispanic community when it comes to our Taino relevance and lineage, and actually still keeping up the roots of our Taino culture. This is why white Puerto Ricans sometimes still try to claim that they're Afro Latina and things like that, because they know the historical relevance that Puerto Ricans, specifically black ones, hold in the Hispanic community. In fact, okay, I'm going to help you out here. Okay, I want you to listen to this. Let me take it a little bit further back. Okay, because if you didn't know, Puerto Rico is the only part that's considered a part of the U.S. Okay, so if anybody deserves to be in America, it would be those damn Puerto Ricans, right? But that's not who you see rampaging, okay, and rampant in America. It's the fucking Hispanics who come from other places like Mexico, Colombia, and other places, because, as always, those white Hispanic Spaniards, mestizos, okay, mixture of people, okay, are always trying to stand in the place of people they deny their own lineage, which is black people and black Hispanics, which is why when you hear about Hispanics, they always try to make sure you see a certain type of Hispanic while claiming, oh no, we're just Hispanic. It's not about color. Well, if it's not about color, why don't you ever uplift, talk about, uphold the black people in your communities? Because Afro Latino is absolutely a great percentage of the culture. Y'all come here and try to shake in everybody's faces. It's definitely not your bland cilantro and onion tacos, okay? And you know this, okay? Let's get into it. Now, if you see here, okay, it says Taino and Spanish rule. See, a lot of people don't even understand. The indigenous of the Hispanic community, they still have their indigenous roots, cultures, and languages. Okay, it's not just Spanish. Okay, Spanish is just a language that the Spaniards gave you. Okay, because before then, the indigenous, okay, of Mexico still had other languages, and it wasn't Spanish. So if you are a Spanish speaker and consider yourself Hispanic, Mexican, Colombian, whatever, please understand you are the colonized people of your land. You will never be an indigenous because you already gave that up. If you are indigenous, that means you'll be pushed in a corner somewhere speaking the language that only your indigenous in your region speak. Okay, that's like you trying to tell me, as somebody who is from Memphis, Tennessee, that you can come to Memphis, Tennessee and make me think you're from there knowing you're not. It's impossible. You can't tell me somebody I know is not original from a place I'm originally from. And that is why so many people are still unoriginal in America, shaking their ass, holding up Mexico flags, knowing that the only thing you want to be is white. Okay, I want to be European. I want to claim white. Okay, and this is also why when you look at applications, they don't give you the option to claim black and Latino. Okay, you can either claim other and this and that. The same way Hispanics who like to claim white don't like to acknowledge their black people. The white people in America come here and play those dumbass games with you, which is why the applications look the way they do. Because as somebody who is black American and black Puerto Rican, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. It's not an option to be both, which is why a lot of black people, okay, in the Hispanic diaspora are always distancing themselves. I'm not one of those black people. And I thank God, okay, that enough of me exists that I'm going to speak out about it. Okay, I don't care. You can come for me. I promise you can come for Miss Negrita over here. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Because who is you? You're after me. Okay, you will always be the ass. Okay, and I will always be the head, and that is okay. So while you're mimicking and cosplaying, um, God shall not be mocked. Okay, I said what I said. That's what happens to all the Mexicans who come to America and realize, okay, what white culture is assimilated behind, and it's blackness. That's why they come here and assimilate to what they see. Okay, it's key. I said what I said. Now, I want you to understand. Let's read this here so that Mexicans can shut up. Okay? I said what I said. Especially you, Ricardo. Okay? It's funny, I even have a black uncle named Ricardo because Ricardo is actually a black name, not a Mexican name. But that's cute, you know, because certain people don't know where nothing comes from because they think they come before the original. But let's talk about it. Who has the most Taino DNA? Individuals of Puerto Rican or Dominican descent are most likely to have the most Taino DNA. Let's clear that shit the fuck up, okay? So Mexicans need to shut the fuck up talking about indigenousness. You are not the indigenousness people of your land of Mexico, okay? The indigenous people of your land are still there. And they also don't speak Spanish. They don't even fuck with you. Okay, that's why you can't fuck with them. They don't want to fuck with you. They know what you about. That's why you're over here. Okay, a lot of times they push you out because they know you with that bullshit that I want to assimilate culture, and you have to go somewhere where you can assimilate properly, which is here. So come over here and play them bitch ass games, please do. Okay, mejor sí nunca, puta madre, and you know this. Okay, so again, who has the most Taino DNA for all these fake ass want to claim they're indigenous people like Mexicans, okay, who are very normal, very non-exotic, okay, very mixed European, okay, white Spaniards, okay, want to be white. That's why Latin America and Latin TV looks the way it is. It's whitewashed because you're whitewashed. Anywho, individuals of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent are the most likely to have Taino DNA, which is why America identifies Puerto Ricans as part of the U.S. If you did not know, Puerto Rico is the only part that is actually considered a part of the U.S. for real. Okay, which is how my black Puerto Rican, okay, and black American parents met any the fuck way. Okay, and where was my mother from? My mother was a black Puerto Rican from Chicago, and my father was a black American from the country. Okay, the outskirts of Memphis. Okay. So for the people who don't get this, this is why to this day they can't tell you your identity and they keep calling you colors. This is why certain people don't understand the only Hispanics that actually usually mix with black Americans are Puerto Ricans because we are the most closely related to black people in the Americas. All these other peoples are just the imposters who know that we are the closeness that links them to the Americas. Okay, because all the rest of them would have been on a boat and got dropped off, okay, in Brazil if they were dark enough, okay, and if they were white enough, they ass would be somewhere in Portugal or Spain or anywhere else enjoying their white privilege. I said what I said. The ones who can't, it's because you're really just a mestizo, okay, who mejoró raza and then try to come to America to use your fake privilege by shutting your mouth and using your skin tone complexion. Oops. Okay, that's why that white on paper feel real good to losers who cannot be winners where they're from. But I'm gonna be a winner wherever I am because I don't have to flee my home to be who I am. Okay, this is why certain people can use Google and some certain people can own Google because I came before the people trying to explain my existence. Now, again, individuals of Puerto Rican or Dominican descent are most likely to have the most Taino DNA. But this is also why people like Cardi B are always saying, me no blackie. Okay, it's because they know the black people of their culture hold more weight than they do, being more closely related to whiteness. So in turn, they spend all their time trying to knock who's really, okay, going to come back up and show out in their bloodline because this is where you come from, aka the only people who can really deal with certain people in the Dominican and certain communities are black people because a lot of the things they try to hold on to culturally are blackness. Okay, they don't hold on to European culture. Most of them, the only thing they hold on to of European culture is the straight hair. Okay, everything else they want the curvy bodies. Okay, they want the tan, exotical looking skin that glows in the sun with a little bit of Vaseline on and shea butter. I said what I said. A lot of these women try to get by off of privilege. The ones who can't, they fly to America. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, now look at the top. The existence of Taino. Okay, roots and a broader awareness of the indigenous roots of Haitian culture. Okay, check this out. Taino DNA is particularly prominent in the greater, okay, islands that were under Spanish rule, such as Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Period. Okay, period. And y'all know a lot of these losers ain't gonna come here and like it because people hate the truth. 5 viewers and wonder why. I don't care about having 5 viewers. Okay, the truth hurts. That's why. Okay, a lot of people don't do nothing but live in their lies. I don't care how many viewers it is. The truth is the truth. I don't give a fuck who don't like to see it. Okay, the truth is always gonna be fewer in numbers because it's too many of y'all living a lie. So if you're bothered, be bothered. And if you're a child, this is not your chat. That's why I made it not for kids. So if YouTube wants to play with the algorithm, let them play. But I said what I said. Okay, Mexicans need to shut up talking about indigenous conversations when you're not indigenous. Okay, you're nothing more than Chicanos, most of you. That is it, that is all. That's why the biggest part of your culture is cosplaying black people, because we're the only people that have a culture. And guess what? I don't give a fuck how many people don't tune into the conversation. It's only because the algorithm won't tune into the people who already know what's up with y'all. Okay? And it's mostly the black people they keep trying to mispander, because we're the people that understand you the most in your cosplaying. Okay? And like I said, the internet also helps a lot of people lie to themselves as well. Because I think it's always cute. Okay? Because certain people will always be more Neanderthal than they will be exotic. Which is why you share closer DNA and tendencies with the very people you want to claim the identity of. Okay? So mudding yourself out is the reason why you're called a mestizo anyway. You're just a mix of a whole bunch of different shit. And it's definitely not mostly indigenous. Okay? Most of you have tried to literally breathe that out of yourselves. I said what I said. So let's continue, because I want you guys to understand how people lie. And so blatantly. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right. Now I want you to understand why blacks will forever hold the most weight in the Hispanic community when it comes to truth. White Hispanics and mestizos, okay, mixed race Hispanic descent people, often white passing, okay, pretend they're the majority in the Hispanic culture when in fact they're not. They're the minority. Very much so. But you're the minority who gets the most privileges. That's why Mexicans will never talk about the privilege they get over all the rest of the people when you're a minority of the Hispanics. There are more black Hispanics than there will ever be white ones. That is also why a lot of white Hispanics are always moving to other places, because eventually you get blacked out. Okay? Usually because of poverty. Okay? But also because of your bloodline lineages and ties. Now, it says here, the presence of Africans in Latin America dates back to the 16th century when the Spanish and Portuguese colonizers brought enslaved people to the region. I'm going to tell you how deep this is. My grandmother is Puerto Rican and Brazilian. Okay? And if you didn't know, Brazilian is really just a way for white Latin America, okay, to distance their black people. Okay, so instead of saying black, oh, you're Brazilian. Okay, that's why they'll be like, oh, I'm Portuguese. What's the difference between Portuguese and the Brazilians who speak Portuguese? Oh, the fact that they're black. That's all. Okay, if you didn't know, you're welcome. De nada. Okay, because this is why a lot of people look at Brazilians like there's some type of foreign they can't understand. It's because Hispanics don't want you to understand they're the only Hispanics that matter. They're the only exoticals in the Hispanic community, and they're pushed into regions where the Hispanics in America are absolutely supposed to be. But instead, they're over here wanting to use their fake privilege, standing in the place of all of the black Hispanics who actually have more access to being here. But like they said, let me tell you who brought who where, because most of those people were actually in the Americas. Okay, so all this fake lying about we brought people from Africa to America. Okay, no, what you did was take niggas from America and put them in other parts and brought them other people from there here. That's what you did. Okay, that's why they hate the Haitians and don't understand. When you think about Haiti, when have you ever thought of Haiti never being black? It's always been black. That's why the Dominican Republic is a joke. Because before you were mestizos and mudded out as Dominicans, you were absolutely black, or you were darker, meaning you were golden, you were brown in hue. Okay, so I don't care about you wanting to be whited out. That mentality comes from that colonization European mindset, Spaniard colonization mindset. Okay, you speaking Spanish don't change that. Now I want you to check this out. The Hispanic community is just like the Black American community, which is why I'm not surprised that I'm a mixture that people don't talk about and they don't like to name on paper, which is Black American and Black Puerto Rican, which is actually the most common Hispanic makeup of Afro Latinas, okay, and the Black American culture. Okay? The thing is, a lot of Black Americans don't realize a lot of the language that were stolen from you were actually Spanish and things like that too, or other tribal languages that were not necessarily Spanish but related to your specific tribe. Okay? Because in the Spanish communities, a lot of tribes, just because you are Hispanic don't mean you speak the same Spanish. To this day, it is very that much that way. Okay? So a lot of Black people in America refuse to believe, okay, that they had their languages stolen because they could actually talk to us as Black Hispanics. That is why, out of all the languages most Black Americans can learn and learn the easiest, it is Spanish. Because Spanish is really a broken dialect of a deeper indigenous language that we used to speak. So if a lot of Black Americans were to learn Spanish, they would easily tweak it and create dialects that fake Spanish speakers cannot even adhere to, which is why it also took white America so long to assimilate to Black slang. They wanted to demonize it so bad, and now their houses are full of Black American lingo because we always have controlled the standard. That's why there's no more Old English. We like the new English better. Okay, it's the same thing with Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rican Spanish is one of the hardest Spanishes to learn, and Dominican. Why? Because we are more closely related to our Taino bloodline lineages. But a lot of those people in between are trying to assimilate in the process to whiteness. I'm not one of those. Okay, I will always reject and deny. Okay, what's not for I. Okay, now let's continue. Large-scale enslavement. Roughly 15 times more enslaved Africans were brought to Spanish and Portuguese colonies than to the United States. Let's say this again. Okay, that's why America's majority white. Because when they were pretending they were going to Africa to get us, no, they weren't. What they were doing was going to Africa to replace the Black Hispanic Spaniards and original Tainos, okay, that they were pushing into Brazil, pushing into Portugal and other areas of the world. Okay, so when you get through, blackness has always been through every civilization, and a lot of these places did not need boats moving from here to here to do it. The Americas and a lot of these Spaniards worked together to misplace the black people who are originally from the islands and the Americas, because the Americas also includes the islands. Okay, if you don't understand Turtle Island, that's okay, because you're probably just a rabbit who came here and got the moving too fast and forgot where you come from. Okay, we don't have to forget where we come from because you moving too fast. Slow down. Okay, so like I said, Ricardo. Okay, that's why I know more black Ricardos than I know Mexican Ricardos. Because a lot of what people think is their culture is nothing more than you denying that black people were here before you. And that's a problem. The biggest one. Okay? There's nothing that comes from you that we got from you. You come from us. Okay, and the breeds that were created after us were different. Now notice how in the 1400s they were talking about Haiti. Okay, they were talking about Haiti in the 1400s because the black people of those regions were already established in there. Okay, the Taino cultures, okay, of Haiti and Puerto Rico were already there, and they were black. Okay, now I want you to check this out. Over centuries, many of the African descended populations became absorbed into the surrounding mestizo. Okay, so I need you to understand where Mexicans come from. Mexicans come from blackness that they are breeding out. That's why you have that hue to your skin. You don't get that from the Spaniards. You don't get that from Europeans. You get that from Negroes. Okay, and a lot of y'all had to breed with Negroes because that was the region you were in, and it's always been more black people than mestizos in real Latin America. To this day, the only reason people don't know that is because white Latin America and mostly Mexicans and Colombians and Cubans, all of you racist anti-black people, still try to unsee and invisible lies all your Negroes. Okay, and the Negro population will always overshadow you because there's more of them. Okay, they're more abundant because of your denial, really. So thank the universe. Okay, you can only be abundant in places they allow you to be, like America. Okay, because when you're around your indigenous selves, the indigenous people end up deleting you because you're the people who want to whitewash the indigenous culture of where you're from. Like in Mexico, people who don't like Mexico, who move from Mexico to America, it's not because you're indigenous and you want to be in this part of Mexico. Um, it's not the same Mexico. If you are proud of Mexico and proud of being Mexican, you would be with your indigenous Mexican tribes because they were in different regions that were actually in Mexico. It wasn't here. Okay, you can talk about Nevada, you can talk about all this, but the Louisiana Purchase and all this, yeah, it was niggas there. That's why to this day, they still have all the Negroes there. Okay, nothing is more blacked out than most of the places where your Taino culture that you keep trying to claim comes from. Okay, so much so they still will take Creole and pretend that they don't come from Tainos. Creoles came after Tainos because they renamed Tainos to Creoles. Okay, and a lot of Creoles are really biracials pretending to be Tainos because they don't have enough black ancestry to consider themselves actually Creole. Okay, because Creole will always be Haitian, which is black, in Haiti before it would ever be anything other than black. So imagine all the nations of the Hispanic culture and lineage always trying to white out their blackness, knowing that the nations of blackness they come from, like Haiti, are so blacked out, you denying it would only be Forrest Gump slow, including the Caribbeans. Nobody thinks about the Caribbean and thinks about the fake Caribbeans that keep trying to migrate to Caribbean areas. All you do is think about Chatas, Jamaicans, okay? Because that is where a lot of the Taino Hispanic culture comes from. The Caribbean. The Caribbean is black. Oops, I'm sorry if you never needed to hear that. Okay? The Asians are not part of the Caribbean. They migrate into the Caribbean so that they can mix and create more mestizos, which is why you can't hardly tell mestizos from Asians. And then they come to other places, mejoró la raza, and boom, now you have what? People who claim what? European ancestry. Now I'm a Spaniard. Now I'm from Portugal. They claim whatever they want based off of skin complexion. Okay? Only the originals don't have the luxury to lie. All of the rest of the Hispanics who are rushing to America are not rushing here because they're indigenous. They're rushing here because they're non-indigenous and know their indigenous people can't get here due to colorism and racism, but they can. Okay, so Ricardo, okay, before you come here and pretendo, okay, and try to play like Nintendo, I'm gonna need you to stop real quick, okay? And we're welcome to have this debate in Spanish or English. It's up to you, little guy, okay? Because a lot of people will always pretend they are knowledgeable and intelligent when you're nothing more than a second-class citizen to our blackness who is here to benefit off of the anti-blackness in every community that surrounds us, that comes here and migrates here. So if you want to contribute to the fact that you're only here because of your anti-blackness, cool. But when you get through, you still come from blackness. That's why the culture that you embrace the most is black. Okay, you're not coming here and acting like Pee Wee Herman. You're coming here and acting like who? OT the Taco. Why? Because you know what's up. We will forever. Okay, was done in the dark. Okay, if you ain't never heard that, it's because you're not American anyway. Okay, but we already know this. And I will say again, the only people who matter in these conversations of indigenousness are black people. Okay? That's why you can come over here and dress up and pretend to be the Indians. It's still looked at as African culture before it's looked at as some tan guy with skinny braids, okay, jumping around who don't got no rhythm. What Indian and indigenous person ain't got no rhythm? Okay? Square dancing ain't indigenous. Okay? Don't nobody who come here and try to cosplay part of the culture that I am, which is Black American. Okay? Black American, Black Puerto Rican, and I know both sides of myself very well. Okay? So at the end of the day, I belong part to Black America. And the only people who can't handle that are the mestizo Mexicans who keep coming here pretending you have a say-so in indigenous conversations when you are literally the runaway biracials of Mexico. Shut up and do it now. The only people you need to be talking about are the self-internalizing, hating, okay, Mexicans that come here to put white on their applications. Period. Because proud indigenous Mexicans are in Mexico speaking a language that ain't Spanish. Because Mexico still has all of its original tribes that are indigenous. You're just not a part of that tribe. If you were, you would not be here talking to us. You would be somewhere enjoying your indigenousness. But you're not indigenous. You're the pretendians. Okay, that's why you're not with your tribe. You're not fighting for anything. And the people who are indigenous where you're from, they not fighting for anything. They got what they want, which is your white ass and want to be white ass out. Oops. That's why you're in California. You can only exist in places where you exist. You can pretend. California is a pretend place. That's where most of you guys go to. You guys go to places you can pretend. You can pretend in the Americas because the real indigenous people ain't stun you, which will be black people. You can act like us and cosplay and wear skinny braids all you want. You are talking to somebody who's more indigenous than you, which is why I can say what I'm saying. Like I said again, if you look, okay, most Puerto Ricans are 60% or above, okay, Taino heritage lineage than you. Oops. Not the white Puerto Ricans either. Okay. Indigenous with a lace front. Oh, my bad. I guess you forgot that my hair grows to my ass. And if you watch my channel, you have plenty of videos where you can see my hair to my ass. Okay. Long hair is not new for black women. It's just new for the thin-haired, thin-lipped motherfuckers who keep trying to pretend everything about me ain't bigger than you, including my hair, bitch. Okay. You're not indigenous. If you were, your hair would grow like the natural grass and trees too. It doesn't. Okay. You're straight and narrow. That's why your shit grows like that. Okay. The biggest, bitch. How you doing? Okay. Don't be mad because you don't got the roots or the crown. And your shit grow down. Okay. I said what I said. I'm not here to appease you and your lies. Go age, and much quicker than us. Okay, that's what happens. Your lies are aging you. Slow down. Okay. Once again, no one gives a fuck about the Dominican Republican parties. You want to know why? Because the Dominican Republic still came after Haiti. Oops. Okay. And when you get through, they still came after Haiti. Okay. Oh my gosh, a black scent? Who's indigenous with a black scent? Everything in the world was created by black people. So at this point, your white scent is killing me. Because your white scent consists of nothing more than lying to yourself every time you open your mouth. That's white scent. Mouth open, finna lie. Okay, so fix your white scent before you come over here and play those type of games. Okay? All right, little club? Little Ritz? Since I gotta be modified in the community. Okay, don't come over here playing. Okay, you don't even know if you want to be a boy today or girl tomorrow. Be quiet over here. Okay, can't nobody who's still deciding on something the universe already chose for you tell me shit. Shut up. Okay, you come here to be indecisive. Okay, yo, my ass. How about this? How about, have you ever heard of silence? Because talking too much is never a good thing. Okay? Talking without having the knowledge to do so is very, very, very equivocal. And that's what happens when you tell the truth. People get to coming out there and Legion is with them. Okay, you're so mixed up and so angry that you're mixed up and unoriginal and unpure. You're mad at people who ain't got to do that because life won't even allow you to. Imagine people hating the original so much, most cultures are still walking around denying their original people. And then they wonder why they got to assimilate to the cultures who assimilate to blackness. Like America. Your whole existence is trying to push out blackness just to come to a place where niggas run shit. I bet that shit hurt, don't it? And I bet it hurt worse when you get here pretending you're indigenous and meet a black Hispanic like me. Okay? I bet it hurt your goddamn soul, don't it? Because you ain't original in a place where I am the original. Okay? I don't care how many languages y'all come here and steal. I don't care how much black cosplaying and black lingo and ebonics you use. Y'all can forever and always and forever kiss my black ass. I mean that. Okay? In every sense that you can think of it. If you got six senses, I want you to feel what I just said in every single one. Okay? And I mean that. They say, mean what you say and say what you mean. Bitch, you better feel what I'm saying. Okay? I don't care about people talking about movies. Y'all watching The Purge. Baby, I'm waiting on The Purge. It's a difference. Okay? Sometimes when you are in alignment spiritually, I'm not waiting for you to keep pretending. Okay? And people giving you false hope. Baby, I'm ready to shut that hope right up out your mindset. Okay? So again, mestizos. You are never going to be pure. That's all you are, is a mix, and you're going to forever be something that we can dilute like Kool-Aid. Okay? And most of you come here and you're sweet anyway. That's why all your women are on TikTok exposing you for being fruity, because you are. You are. Most of you guys come here and suck more dick than a prostitute on her best day. Okay, that's why you're always trying to show off what you think is so attractive. And ain't shit attractive about no dude, okay, who look like he sucked dick for a living. And I said what I said, little mestizo. Because that's why y'all love America the way y'all do. Okay? No, Hispanics don't have more European. It's actually more black Hispanics. You talking to one. Okay, if you didn't know, I'm a black Hispanic and black American. And if I didn't tell you, would you know? If you don't catch me speaking Spanish, would you know? Okay, the only thing that usually black people can tell the difference is usually when I let my hair down. They always be like, dang, what you using your hair? Oh, you got hair like my little cousin, but she mixed, or she this, or she this, or her daddy Puerto Rican. Yeah, that's what I get from black people. Meanwhile, I spend my whole life as a Negro. Okay, I don't put nothing but black American on paper because that's the only option these ugly ass mestizos give us anyway. And that's cool. Because the only thing I can be in America as a black American and black Puerto Rican is black American. And that's cool. But I'm honest about what I am, because a lot of these motherfuckers will never do that. They don't know what honesty looks like because, well, a lot don't care who tell it. But they usually the motherfuckers telling it, just in case you didn't know. That's why you can't come over here and play. And Ricardo Ignacio, you are more than welcome to debate me while you calling motherfuckers in all these other countries trying to collaborate your false intelligence. Bitch, call me. Please call me. Call my black ass. Okay, so we can have this conversation. Put subtitles, bitch. Come on, let's go. Okay? Because I get tired of people coming on here acting like they are goddamn, okay, Barack Obama of the Hispanic community. Nigga. Do you think I'm Cardi B? Do I come off like a Cardi B to you? Who do you think Cardi B and them trying to act like? Do you really think it's black Americans, or it's the Tainos that they hate to claim? Okay. Who brings whose ancestors here? White people have no ancestors. Your ancestors are monkeys and Neanderthals. Did you confuse yourself with a human being? You better go look at your own evolution, retard. Oh my God, you're losing it. Calm down. You're losing it in here, man. You're losing it. Get it together. Okay? It is my spa day. Don't you come in here making shit iffy. You keep it buttery smooth. Okay? Like the shea butter I'm going to put on when I'm done. Like I said. Okay? I don't give a fuck about Dominicans. I'm not Dominican. And I don't deny my blackness. You want to know why? Because I'm black Puerto Rican. You know, Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S. and we're actually the people who love being black. We're the Hispanics that's actually going to tell you the truth. That's also why we don't want other Hispanics to talk to us, so they can't really talk our Spanish to us. We don't want you to talk Spanish to us. Okay, what they say on the Django, you can't talk to us like them other niggas because we ain't like them other niggas. Do you understand that? I mean that. Okay, you can't talk to me like Cardi B. We on your ass. Okay, we're not going to court. I'm gonna see you when you get home. If I don't follow you there. Okay, we're those black people. That's why they hate Haitians the way they do, because we're those black people. They're the Caribbean. Okay, ain't no Mexican mestizo looking motherfucker like this part of our communities. You are the biracials of the Hispanic race. Why are you still talking? Shut up and find your tribe. We know who we are. You know who we are. Why? Because we can't deny who we are and where we come from. Thank God the universe chose for me, just like the universe chose my gender. Okay, mestizos and Mexicans love coming to places of confusions because they love pretending. And America's the only place where you can pretend like that. You just can't pretend around us. Okay, you can pretend all you want to, but eventually you gonna pretend until you act like us because we ain't going for that shit you do in your country. Okay, and the indigenous people from Mexico, they on your ass too, because you go over there and play with them indigenous people of Mexico, which will be the Aztecs, the Mayans. You know, you're indigenous people. You're not our indigenous people, motherfucker. We're our indigenous people. You don't look like my grandma. Okay, my grandma looks like an Indian because she is. I don't give a fuck if y'all took her language, her name, I don't give a fuck about none of that. We know we don't look like most of our grandparents because they are more exotical, okay, and indigenous than you. And it's usually because they were called things. Okay, that's why they kept saying, you're black, no, you're this, no, you're. No, a lot of us are the originals of this land. And regardless of what they want to tell you, you are. Okay, a lot of you guys are mixed with different types of tribes. Just not these types. Because if you were by now, you would already be dead from bubonic plague and COVID. Okay? You'd be gone. They can't survive anything because of all that white European ancestry that creep up in there and start breakdancing in their blood. Okay? Hey! No white blood cells for you! Okay? Not over here, bitch. Not over here. Not over here. Okay? We don't deny our greatness over here. We're on our Dragon Ball Z. If you don't like it, we have so much ass that God gave us for you to kiss. Okay? All right. Now, back to what I said. Okay? Oh, what's wrong? You know, all the Mexicans who ain't got, okay, they BBLs yet are punched in the air. That you wait till I get my ass. Looking ass. Let me get off camera. Y'all mad, ain't it? Oh, they thought they was, what'd you think I was? A white Hispanic? Never! Nunca! Anywho, back to your regular dosage of you gonna have to get it together over here. Okay? Arista, whatever you are, whatever weight it is, we will always hold it. Okay? It doesn't matter. Okay? So regardless of you, your trope will always be very light because really your trope is next to nothing. Feathery. In the wind. Have you ever heard a song called Dust in the Wind? Because really that's really pretty much the history of most of your entire existences, which is why you keep bouncing from place to place, but you just happen to bounce your ass in my home. And I'm very, very protective of my home as a Leo woman, okay, who is healed and still don't mind acting unhealed if it takes me healing other people. That's how important tribe is to me. Okay? I'm not finna argue with nobody who ain't got no motherfucking rhythm. You absolutely are not part of my roots. Because all my roots, okay, can clap on beats. All my roots look like the trees, okay, that grow. Okay? Our shit grow up and not down because that's how up we is. Do you understand what I'm saying? It took you damn near hundreds of years just to learn Ebonics. Can you understand what I'm saying now? Or you can't? Okay? After all these years of trying to learn us, do you hear me now? Is it affirmative? Okay? Let me get you out of here because over here, I know people love to think their opinions matter. This is a black live stream, and your self internalized fake whiteness, political, social constructs don't live here, along with the fake ass mestizos, wanna be exotical indigenous people who think they up in this bitch too. You ain't shit. That's why the only Friday people really liked is the first one. You fuck up everything you get in. And like I said, y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of elastic warriors anyway. No locked doors. Looking ass. That's all y'all come here to America to do. Is be gay in peace. Okay, why? Because the niggas where y'all from is chopping heads off and y'all can't be fruity over there in peace. They ain't going for it. The ones who are, y'all are in villas and other places living your poverty truth. And everybody that's living in poverty or what they claim to be poverty ain't people to feel sorry for. A lot of these people going through karma for how they done a lot of the black Tainos, indigenous people of their race. If you don't like it, what did I tell you about all the asses God gave us back there for you to kiss? Get to it. Because I said what I said. Okay? I don't mind. Okay, some days you have to take the condom off and do it raw. And today is one of those days. Okay? So, like I said, what's up, Rashad? How you doing? Hello. She's crazy looking attention. Bitch, we are the attention. Name one time you wake up and any of your races are not worried about black people. Your anti-blackness comes from your obsession with blackness. In case you didn't know the difference, you're talking to a licensed therapist who is 2 years away from their doctorate in pseudoscience psychology. When I told you about those asses, I'm going to need you to kiss them quicker. We've always been above you in accomplishing anything. It's the fact that you don't like to acknowledge what we accomplished because your mediocre, low vibrational, low level ass cannot do so. The same way white women and non-black women want to be praised for being rhythmless. Okay? Imagine seeing a black woman in all our beautiful rhythm and glory, and you want people to admire you for being the opposite. What? Bland? What? Straight up and down? What? Having less than us? What? Being less exotic? Okay? Everything less because you're a mutation of so much mixing. You done mixed your ass into a conversation you can't even participate in purely. You can't deny me what the universe says, baby. You are everything I need you to be. Okay? You talking to the right one. Cardi B could never join this conversation. You love Mexicans. I don't give a fuck about a Mexican, just like they don't give a fuck about me. Hallelujah. We gonna tell the truth over here. If you didn't know, I said what I said. If you're a Mexican and you don't like black Mexicans, why you gonna come here and like my black non-Mexican ass? I don't like you neither. Don't come over here and pretend for me because I ain't pretending for you. Bye. Okay. Oh, you have black fatigue. That's probably why you even got no picture up. Okay? Because you're probably just a white goofy who wants to be black. You probably walk around acting like Eminem. And don't nobody like M&Ms anyway. Okay? You're the chocolate most people look over anyway. Okay? They have to put you in other desserts for people to even eat you. Kind of like your whole ancestry. They have to force you on people. Nobody wants you. Okay? Imagine running to America, fleeing. Nobody wants you. You running here to get colonized. Ain't nobody even coming to colonize you. You see how they colonize in Africa? They love them niggas, though. I told you. You better. Where Dave Chappelle go with his Chinese woman, Dave Chappelle married an Asian woman. The first place he fared to was Africa. He said, come on, Asian woman, we going to Africa. That's the only place I feel safe. Woo, I am funny. When you get through, a mí no care. No importa over here. Yes, Mexicans love being your neighbors because they watch you. Them late looking through the window. Ooh, are those jabos? Okay, they be up there trying to copy shit from Cash Money taking over for the 9-9. They still out here rocking jabos and trying to fucking get curly perms so they can do a boosie fade. Grow up. Okay, goddamn. Can you catch up? Shit, we at Chick-fil-A, you still at McDonald's. Catch up. You want to be the symbol of what everybody already knows. But we want the highest quality service. Catch up. Because at this point, you are serving us our Chick-fil-A. Okay? And you better do it correctly. Because that's what you came here to do. Serve us. We are the culture. We are the world. We are the children you wish to be. But you can't tell it to me. You can kiss my ass, G. Okay, I said what I said. Okay, this ain't get out, bitch. This is get all the way the fuck on down. Okay, it's way deeper than a get out over here. Get the fuck on down, okay? I shouldn't see you, hear you, nothing. And I definitely don't need to hear the word black in your conversation. If me no black, the word black don't even... What did y'all say in 1976? Let the Negro fight his own battles. Well, bitch, we done fighting. We won. We won, okay? We won. We win. You know we're the salt of the earth. Do you hear me? The word? We been the salt of the earth. Okay, so imagine when people still trying to assimilate to what they see already is the conqueror, out of trying to be colonized. Y'all running to be colonized, but now you want to merge with the conqueror. No, no, no. You finna get purged, right? With the people who's trying to purge us. Okay, it's a tree waiting for you too. I promise you will be in the roots. You will fertilize our soil like you have always fertilized our soil. Okay, they say them dead things fertilize your soil good. And as somebody who has a green thumb, okay, when I tell you the decomposition of dead things, especially living things that are dead inside, when they die and hit that soil, oh, how it flourishes. Okay, so don't be mad because you came here to be a casualty of war. And the war is something we already won. So imagine when a lot of people just waiting on the happening. And the happening is you're going to get purged again because you've always been defeated and conquered because you're the civilizations that ain't never lasted. That's why they still over here playing the gods of Egypt and not the gods of the Mayans, the gods of the Aztecs. No, they're not. They're still playing the black gods. That's why they have the Little Mermaid. They had to make everything whitewashed. Okay? I said what I said. Most of you motherfuckers don't even live around water. You're dry. You're from dry places. Neanderthals. Okay, if you get mad, it's because you don't like truth. And guess what? Truth don't like you either. That's why when you go outside, the sun be like, oh, what's that? Oh, goddamn, it's a spot on my earth. I'm trying to give it some color, and that shit turning red. Okay, you turn red because the earth trying to make sure, oh, that ain't what I created, is it? No, because when the sun hits you here and you're supposed to be here, you turn brown. Do you understand? So sit your ass down. You the people who are going against nature. And nature is going against you. No black and brown unity. Do you understand me? It ain't none. It ain't none to be had. It ain't never meant to be had. And you gonna stop talking about it like it's gonna happen. It ain't. Do you hear me, Ricardo? Stop talking about us. Shit. Michael Jackson damn near became white, and he still told y'all ass they don't give a fuck about us. And this nigga came out looking like Sandra Bullock. Okay, if they didn't get it done and you still don't understand, I don't know what to tell you. Poor thing. What's up, Audacity? How you doing? What's up, Rashard? What's up, The Word? They know what's up. You gonna have to stop shitting on us, because when you get through talking about us like a dog, we still choose each other more than y'all will ever choose yourself. Okay, that's why when they get through doing that census, it's gonna be some hearts that's all the way broke when they realize the black people are the majority again. That's why it's time for war. We've always gonna be the majority because we the only ones that gotta deal with everything. This time, we're going to rest until it's time to purge. So while you're over there running your mouthy, we over here getting them glockies ready with plenty of ammo, okay? So I don't care what you speak, okay? You don't speak bulletproof. So you better be being quiet. That's all I can say. This ain't the slavery days, okay? Our trees ain't going to be nothing more than shields for getting to you. And the trees have always protected us like no other. After all, I didn't see y'all wading in the water with alligators and shit to get out of slavery. Okay, they was letting us go on down the river. Okay, because we was wading in the water. Fuck out of here. If you ain't never went to church and sung no church hymns, you better shut up. You are not American. Do you understand me? You are talking to somebody whose dad is a preacher and been a preacher my whole life, still a preacher, and still preaching that bullshit to where I have to distance myself so I can put my people on real truth. I'm not here for assimilation. Okay? All of us ain't here to assimilate. Some of us is taken all the way over. It's mine now. Give it here. And if you don't give it, I take it. Because that's the bloodline I come from. It's mine anyway. I said what I said. A lot of people hate when you take your power. Well, the power has always been there. And ain't nobody took mine. Okay? I'm like one of those people. I'm like the Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Okay? I'm the one that's going to talk to you like Pimp C. These niggas need to come on out and be honest about they shit they doing. He told y'all about P. Diddy I don't know how long ago. Okay, dressed like a pimp and had a wife at home. He just wanted to get some extra money. He went up in that room and was like, what the hell is this? All these beautiful bitches and you. Oh my God. I done gave up. Okay, Pimp C said, no more. Take me to the hotel room. I'm over this. Okay? The rest of the niggas y'all keep hyping, I promise you they in them hotel rooms. Tootin' and bootin', and it ain't no coochie. I said what I said. Y'all love these gay ass imposters they keep putting on us as black people and everything else. And they sissified, they weak, they're assimilators, they're black gatekeepers of nothing more than whiteness. Because they ain't gatekeeping shit that's a part of the black community. That's why the people that can make us great, they take them out quickly. That's why we don't have no more Bernie Macs. All we got is sissy ass Cat Williams talkers. Honey, and then all we got is these sissified ass little bitty men's. I said what I said. I don't care how much truth y'all think they telling. They ain't telling nothing more than the truth these white folks let them tell. That's why they shadow ban me and they can keep shadow banning me. Okay, my brother play pro ball. He would never talk to you like this because his privilege, his fake privilege and whiteness and comfortability done got in the way. And that's okay. Okay, because I'm going to come right in the room and shake some shit up. I'm always the elephant in the room. Okay, that's what happens when you walk in and you know your roots. After all, elephants remember everything. And I happen to be the elephant in every room I walk in. What you looking at, bitch? I damn near can see your 7 generations from here. The fuck you looking at? Look away. Okay, I'm that person. I ain't got no leniency for nobody. I don't forgive shit. Don't ever come over here talking about Jesus. Jesus can't make me forgive nothing. Okay, that's what Jesus is for. Weak black people who want to forgive white folks unnecessarily for what the fuck you did to us. I ain't forgiving nothing. You did my ancestors worse than Jesus. You gonna have to come with it. Okay, at this point, Jesus can get it too. The fuck you mean? Forget all my ancestors and recent shit, then talk about this one nigga who was turning water into wine because he a drunk. No, no, no. It ain't finna be me. Okay, you ain't finna have me up here talking about cannibalism and I'm drinking the blood of Jesus and eating his body. No, I'm not. No, the fuck I'm not. Okay, I said what I said. You're not finna have me partaking of nothing that is not of me. And eating no white man and drinking his blood is not me. Okay? And who do you think I am? Jay-Z and Beyonce? I ain't Creole. The only Creoles I acknowledge are Haitian. That's why they speak it. That's why it's called Haitian Creole. They own it. Okay, so anybody walking around talking about they Creole and they don't look Haitian, you be quiet. Because you was a biracial. You're a mulatto. And you ain't got no identity. You always attaching to somebody's identity. That's why the biracials who are mulatto, like Mulatto the rapper, Lotto, are always letting you know they ain't shit but mixed. Mixed with confusion. That's what the fuck you mix with. And you see who she chasing? Blackness. Okay, whiteness. The white and a lot of biracials will always chase their blackness because one is more dominant than the other. Oops. How dare I come here and be honest? I know people don't really like that, but I told y'all before, and I'm going to tell you every time I come here, I am not here to be liked. When people understand being liked don't mean absolutely shit in the world we're living in, you will understand how to use your Harry Potter energy. Okay? In other words, you ain't got to like me, you gonna respect it because I'm gonna make you respect this power. Okay? And y'all live in an age where a whole bunch of sissified feminine men are trying to make you respect gay witchcraft. They making you sissies. And niggas like this are part of the problem too. Because they the sissies from where they from. That's why they ain't over there chopping heads off and stuff. They over here want to wear lip gloss and put their hair in Pocahontas hairstyles. Okay? I said what I said. Oops. You can't tell me why you think they over on TikTok exposing all of these Hispanic down low men right now. That's why they come here to get their eyebrows arched, get a nice car, and suck some dick in it. Oops. Same thing with Arabics. You don't never see them with their kids. You just see them with another nigga because most of them gay. Okay, they don't even want to see what they women look like. They so gay. Cover up, bitch. I don't want to see you. Okay, put that goddamn robe and shit on. I don't want to see a curve. Nothing. I don't even want to. I barely want to see your eyes, but I know you got to see the walk. Cover them. These people hate the original. Can't no man who hate women tell me about blackness. Okay, I said what I said. Because at this point, I need people to be honest about why they hate their women so bad and why they love America so much. Ooh. They ain't gonna be honest. They came over here to braid their hair and put on lip gloss. Because you know over there, them Thainos will be over there on your ass hanging you over an overpass somewhere. Okay, get out of here. You ain't no elastic warrior over there. You're just elastic warriors in America. Okay? That's why after the first Friday, it wasn't really interesting. Because you motherfuckers ain't shit but some fruit cakes trying to pretend you're something more exotic than you is. Nia Long is always going to look better than that little Puerto Rican mixtizo that they put on Friday and everything. I don't think y'all understand. I'm so myself. I do not care about people not liking me and being honest. Okay? I said what I said. And this is funny because the lady in this picture is a biracial, meaning she's mixed with white. Okay? And she married a Mexican. And notice how in the title he says, a black woman married a Mexican. Nigga, I'm going to tell you one time to stop putting people who mix with white in the place of black people. I ain't going to keep telling your ugly Mexican ass this. This is a black woman. Okay? And I'm still Hispanic. Do you understand me? Stop putting people who can't pass as black all the way saying that they're black women. Bitch, did you hear what I said? I'm going to continue to call you fuck niggas out because that's all you are. Okay? You're the trash of your race. You ain't finna come here and talk like you have anything of importance to say to us peasant. You are the peasants of your race coming into our kingdom talking. You do not talk in our kingdom. If you don't talk around people who have lesser than you, don't you dare come into our kingdom and talk to us because we've acquired more than you by taking it. We don't need permission to be great. We didn't need Donald Trump to make America great again. Bitch, we gonna make it great regardless because it's our home. And that's what we want our home to be. Notice how in black neighborhoods, when it was just niggas and mostly niggas, they wasn't locking up the baby formula. They wasn't locking up our laundry detergent. And now if a nigga need to steal, we can't even steal because you over here stealing everything. Okay, sometimes shit get hard. You talking to somebody who was homeless when they was in their 20s. Bitch, I stole. I did. But when I got a chance to give back to my community, I also did. Okay, I don't give a fuck what y'all think is politically correct. I ain't politically correct. You can't be black and politically correct. It don't go together. Who you think I am, Anton Daniels? No. I love the blackness in me. I'm not here to make you feel better about nothing you came here to be over yourself. That's white. I'm not going to keep telling you to stop calling these motherfuckers who can't live their life as a black woman black. Okay? Okay, Chicano? Okay, Peleto? Okay, I'm not going to keep telling you. Even though you're really just a little Mileno. Okay, that's what you are. But you can't talk to me the way you want to because you don't really speak good Spanish. Now, I'm not going to tell you again, stop talking about us or have a conversation with actual black Hispanics in America. Stop acting like we ain't out here just because your ugly ass out here. Okay, you want to have a conversation in Spanish? Okay, talk to black Spanish people so we can tell the truth about how y'all see us as black people, how y'all try to treat us as black people, and how we buck y'all ass every time to where you have to be us to even feel gangster. Okay? Because we ain't playing when we tell you how we feel. We just gonna show you. We ain't gotta cosplay us. We us. Okay? So when you're walking around trying to act like OT the taco, we're ready to do you like Shatas. Okay? We promise. Okay? This ain't no, we ain't threatening. You know we ain't making no threats. That's why you don't talk about the black people where you from. You only come here and talk about the weak ass black people who pretend they like you more than they like yourself. I don't like you, and I ain't gonna act like I like you. Don't ever come in here and act like you like me. ever in your fucking life either. Okay? Like I said, little Mexican. Okay? I feel like I'm watching The Hateful Eight right now. When Samuel L. Jackson was like, so you mean Minnie, okay, gonna leave all her shit that she prized the most with a goddamn Mexican? This is Senior Bob. And today, I am your Samuel L. Jackson, Senior Bob. Okay? Do you understand? And all your friends that you talking to was everybody that was in that saloon. Okay? And the white people around me is gonna be just like the sheriff. You get your ass over here if you want to survive, and you point that gun at them and do what the fuck I tell you. Because survival of you motherfuckers depend on us. So, I will say again, shut the fuck up talking about black people. And definitely stop pretending that you are Taino and have Taino ancestry because you're not indigenous. Okay? Shout out to all my beautiful black Americans and foundational black Americans. Okay? We ain't tethering. We ain't letting nobody tether either. You can kiss our ass. And it is black and brown unity. But you actually got to be black to have that. Okay? All the rest of it, you're just pretending. We don't need black and brown unity from mestizos. There's enough black and brown unity with black. I'm a black American and black Puerto Rican. We already got our black and brown unity. Okay, we got some darker than us. We got some like us. We don't need mestizos trying to tether to us. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all black people again, stop pretending that these Mexican looking and non-black looking people are the Hispanics you gotta get with. I promise you, we out here and we love ourselves. Okay, if anybody gonna love themselves, it's gonna be the black Puerto Ricans. That's why you usually see black Puerto Ricans. Everybody else is still trying to fight for their whiteness. Okay, they fighting for their life. We not. We just fighting for the right to be black in a place where we always been that anyway. Okay? I will talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all hit a like. And if you a hater, what I tell y'all about the ass God gave us more of for y'all to kiss. Okay? Get to it. Everybody else, I love you, my people. Make sure you like, make sure you sub. And we gonna keep exposing these motherfucking tethers. Talk to y'all later.